Thanks for stopping by the channel. As always, make sure you are subscribed, checking out the bell icon that's down there somewhere. I really didn't know what I wanted to do or what I wanted to say for this video. Today, this day, Sunday, April 25th, 2021, is 1 year since I launched this channel to the day. By the time this video premieres, it will have been probably about 12 hours from the time I shot the very first video that I made for this channel, which was, why does this channel exist? I left my house that morning and I went to a Reopen Minnesota rally in front of the governor's residence, the People's Mansion of the state of Minnesota. And that was the very first time that I spoke publicly to a rally. And I called out the governor, Governor Tim Walz. And I said, not that he heard me, but the crowd did, that it was time for him to begin to serve all of Minnesota, greater Minnesota. And I pointed to Romans chapter 13, and I pointed out that the Constitution is the highest ruling authority in the land. It's not the president. It's not governors. It's not mayors. It's not county administrators or county boards. It's not sheriffs or chiefs of police. It isn't the local dog catcher or anything like that. It's us. It's we the people under the Constitution. The Constitution's way up here as an earthly authority. And then down here are we the people. And then like way down underneath we the people are all the people in elected or appointed servants positions. I shot my first video using my cell phone. I shot my first interviews that day using my GoPro and my cell phone. And when I got home, I wasn't expecting much, honestly. I wasn't expecting anything, but by the time I got home, I had, I think it was 5 or 6 subscribers. And here I sit now, today, with, gosh, what am I looking at right now? I have 458 as of the time that I'm shooting this video. 458 subscribers. You know, and some of you are saying to yourselves like, ooh, whoopee, 458. There are channels out there with millions of subscribers, like thousands of views in the first few minutes of publishing a video. For a channel that started out to talk about constitutional issues here in the state of Minnesota and in the greater United States, for a channel that started out to be an independent media, independent video journalism outlet meant to cover things that mainstream media, lamestream media, legacy media, the propaganda wing of the cathedral wasn't going to cover, to go from that first day for 5 or 6 subscribers to a day like today where I'm at almost 470, I think, really. I think I'm almost halfway to the magical YouTube 1000 line where they start to monetize you. Not that they're going to monetize me, but it's humbling. I've had people step up. Tomsky bought a mic. This hat was made by a friend slash supporter slash fan. I've had Jim, who's from the Twin Cities and is a good friend now, wrote several versions of intro music for me. I've had some great conversations. I've had some real success with some of the stuff that I've put out. One of the first business owners that I interviewed, well, the very first business owner that I interviewed was a gal who owned a hair salon, and that was on the day of the rally. And she was I just walked up and told her what I wanted to do, what I wanted to talk about, and she told her story. And that just started. And I got to a point where then I interviewed a gal from in my area, went to her business and reached out to her. And within days, there were several thousand views of that video in this area. And it just kept going. I began to interview people about their small businesses. I did it in person. I figured out how to get a camera, and that's what I'm recording on now. And people started to pay attention. Part of the problem with people paying attention is some of the wrong people started to pay attention. What do I mean by the wrong people? People like Antifa and radical Marxist leftist organizations like Black Lives Matter. And there again, I know that's an unpopular thing. People don't want to hear that, but the actual Black Lives Matter organization is a Marxist leftist, anti-American, anti-traditionalist, anti-constitutional organization. It despises the United States. It despises the Constitution. And those people began to take notice. I have received death threats for my content. A young, very unstable man claiming to be a member of Antifa. Now, of course, they'll claim they're not an organization. And of course, our illustrious president backs him up on that. Claiming to be part of an Antifa organization down in the Houston, Texas area, or was it Austin? I can't remember now. Literally threatened my life. Threatened my life because I dared to challenge Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez because she wants to make an enemies list and to put anybody who supported Donald Trump on that list. I called her out for that. The guy didn't like it, and so he threatened my life. Other people have taken notice, some of it because I have made it very clear that I stand starkly opposed to their agenda. I stand starkly opposed to the positions that they take. I'm thinking of Kim Norton, the mayor of Rochester, Minnesota. I have challenged her publicly many times. Many times. Guess what? I have the right to do that. I have the liberty to do that. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing unethical about it. There's nothing indecent about it. She is a elected servant, and as such, I do much commerce in the city of Rochester. I have many friends that live in the city of Rochester. And she may not be my direct representative, but I have every right and every liberty, according to my constitutional rights, as they're enshrined in the Constitution, created by God and given to men. I have every liberty to do that. Some people don't like it, and they've been very upset with me for that. I've called out other local elected servants, both and appointed servants, as the egregious behavior over the last year has gotten even more egregious, down to blatantly evil, just blatantly evil. I have called out Governor Walz. I have called out others from around the state of Minnesota, the mayor of a larger suburb of the Twin Cities. But I've made friends too. John, Chad, Julie, Lisa and Larvita and others, just from, I don't have enough time to list the number of people that I have become acquainted with and now consider friends and allies. I've alienated some of those people because I have said something, not necessarily the people that I've named, but because I've said some things to challenge the supposed patriots of the United States, especially here in this region, especially in the state of Minnesota, and said, look, some of the things that you're doing are the horrible optics. They look bad for us. I've gone to the mat for some of these people. And that's my decision. And as I said in my video for the 24th on Saturday, my liberties are under assault. And they have been since the end of May of last year. That in different ways, different shapes, and different forms, people have been coming at me, and that assault on my liberties for my message has increased. And as I've pointed out in several of the speeches that I have given now in public, and yes, I've now been asked to go and speak publicly at different places with different elected officials from around the state. As I have said in different speeches, when you're to use the old World War II phrase, when you're taking flak, you're knowing you're over the target. Some of this has not been easy. I've alienated family members, both direct blood relations and in-law types, or people who are not directly related but are part of the family. I've alienated some of them. I've also been encouraged by some of them. One particular relationship that I have been very encouraged by has been somebody that's incredibly close to me, who isn't afraid to tell me when they think I've said too much, or maybe I'm gone a little over the line and maybe in their perspective, but has also encouraged me as I've been under assault and said, "You've done nothing wrong. Done nothing wrong." And when that person says that to me, and she knows who she is, and it doesn't matter if anybody else does, when that person says, "What's being done to you isn't fair. You've done nothing wrong," that means something. Because again, that person has no problem calling me out when they disagree with me. The thing that I've learned the most with the inception of this channel in the last year is that now more than ever, my voice is needed. Not because it's my voice, not because I'm somehow more qualified than anyone else, but because, quite frankly, I'm one of few voices in the state of Minnesota that doesn't have a major platform. I don't have thousands and thousands of followers. I don't have people asking me to talk about their business and then offering to pay for, commercials or sponsorship or whatever you want to call it. I don't have that going on with my channel. But yet people are listening and they are paying attention because they're aware. There's so much talk about being woke today. I don't want you to be woke. I want you to be awakened. Woke is deadly. Woke is evil. Woke is a sick and twisted, incestuous child of critical race theory and leftist progressive propaganda. Woke will get you killed. Woke will get your mind deflated and destroyed. Woke will disintegrate your worldview and turn you into nothing but a mind-numb, autonomous golem following orders from on high, protesting and rioting and burning down neighborhoods and communities when the commandant gives you marching orders and tells you what to be outraged by now, whether it's legitimate outrage or not. And there have been some cases that deserve legitimate outrage, but woke doesn't care about that. I don't want you to be woke. I don't care about your ethnicity. I don't care about your skin pigmentation. I don't care about your income level. I don't care about your education achievements. I don't care where you work. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care what your career is. And you shouldn't care what mine is. What you should care about is what's being stripped away from us. That's why I want you to not be woke. I want you to be awakened. Be awakened. We are living in a perilous time. We are living in a time where we are on the precipice of losing the republic. And many of our leaders are fiddling while Rome burns. Quite literally fiddling while their cities burn. Minneapolis and Portland and Washington, D.C. and Baltimore and Detroit and Chicago, and over and over and over and over again. These leaders, these leftist shills fiddle while their cities burn, but they're proud to say they're woke. Woke will get you killed. Awakened will make you alive. And that's not a spiritual thing. I'm not abandoning my Christian beliefs. But it's time that we become culturally awake people. And that's what this last year has taught me. And the more that people come at me, and the more that people tell me you need to get rid of this video, and you need to take down that video, and this video was offensive, and you said this at this time in this video, and I don't like what you said here, and you didn't say the right thing about this, and you didn't jump on the Black Lives Matter bandwagon, and you think that all lives matter, and you dared to compare Planned Parenthood and point out the hypocrisy of everybody who says that Black Lives Matter is a horrible organization. You are dangerous. You don't think right. You know what? Good. And I don't want you to think right either, because I want you to think properly. I want you to think intellectually. I want you to use your logic and your reasoning skills, and not your emotional, overbearing drive to be accepted. That's what woke will get you. And the vast majority of people holding elected servants positions and appointed servants positions are more interested in being culturally accepted so that they can maintain their positions of power than they are with doing what is best according to not society's damning demands, but instead doing what's right according to the Constitution, according to God, or the God of nature, as our forefathers said. In order to secure a more perfect union. And I want you to open your eyes. I want you to be awakened and ask yourselves, are we striving towards a more perfect union, or is that union being shattered by race baiting, ethnic hatred, outrage culture, racial inflammation, if you will? People are out there intentionally stoking the flames of racial hatred. And it's not a bunch of white folks in uniforms somewhere. It's not a bunch of white folks sitting in positions of power that are trying to oppress minorities. It is literally people claiming that they care about the minorities that are pointing out all of these injustices, and all it has done, all it's managed to do, all that matters is that there is now a deeper divide ethnically in this country than there was prior to Barack Obama being president. You know, former President Barack Obama, the most powerful man in the free world, a black man elected to office. What did 8 years of Barack Obama get us but more racial divide, more ethnic hatred? Have we forgotten how far this country has come? And the very thing that they attack, the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, is the very thing that has empowered and made it possible for people of every ethnicity to rise above their circumstances and become great on their own, not because the state has made them great, not because the state has stepped in and said, we will make you what you want to be, but because the state is controlled and mitigated by the Constitution, by we the people, by the Bill of Rights. And it forces the state, when we're doing it the right way, to stay out of the way so that people are unhindered and unfettered from the control of overbearing tyrannical despots who want nothing more than to remain in power and to keep you subjugated. But where are we now? Where are we 1 year after the coup came in and forced all of these preventative measures for your own good? Where are we with a year's worth of crying out for defunding of the police and disbanding of police departments? Are we better off than we were a year ago? Are we better off than we were after 8 years of Obama? We have our first female vice president, who's also happens to be a person of color, sitting in what is ostensibly the second most powerful position in the United States when you think about it the way the world does. She's first in line to be president when they finally remove Biden from office under the 25th Amendment, and you know they're going to. Sitting there saying that it's impossible for minorities to achieve anything in the United States because they're so oppressed. The irony and the hypocrisy of that should just drive you absolutely crazy. So are we better off right now than we were a year ago today? That's why this channel is so important, and it has become fundamentally more clear to me every day. And it will remain clear to me. There again, not because I am something special, but because each and every one of you as Americans is something special. And you should be saying the things that I say, and you should be doing the things that I do. There should be thousands of little TC type YouTube channels out there talking about these egregious constitutional violations, talking about the egregious nature of the race baiting, grievance hustling, wannabe tyrants who use ethnic hatred as a divide to keep us separated, weak, and incapable of resisting their tyranny. That's what they want. And it's not just the Democrats. The Republicans, by and large, are the same, except for a handful. See, I love every one of you enough to tell you that they aren't interested in keeping you safe. They're not interested in lifting you up out of oppression. They're not interested in ending the new Jim Crow laws. They're not interested in protecting you from a virus like the coof. All they're interested in is keeping you subjugated, keeping us at each other's throats, getting us to call each other names. That's fascism. That's authoritarianism. That's what they stand for. And that's what I've learned this last year. I'm not crazy. All you need to do is look around and ask yourselves, why is it every single time we seem to be just about to get our feet underneath us and back up and moving again in the right direction, some other tragedy comes along, some other measure to prevent us from being hurt by the coof comes along? Why is that? It's because they like to keep us off balance. I appreciate every single person that watches, even those that are watching to find some reason to be mad at me, to be outraged by me, or to find some reason to complain about me or try and get me deplatformed or cancel me. I appreciate every one of the views, because sooner or later you're going to watch enough of this and you're either going to get awakened or you're going to give up trying to fight me, because I'm not going anywhere. Because that's what this last year has taught me. I can't stop. I might be the only voice of reason in Southeast Minnesota. And it doesn't matter how many people I touch. It doesn't matter how many people hear me. As long as one person hears and takes action. Not towards physical violence, but towards holding public servants, elected and appointed, accountable for their actions, for calling out Marxism, for calling out all of the horrible ethnic and racial divide that's being forced on us through the media and through our politicians. So that instead of being outraged, you stop and go, wow, my white neighbor has never been a racist towards me. My black neighbor has never been racist towards me. I'm going to stop looking at people based on their ethnicity, based on their skin pigmentation. I'm going to stop looking at people and being interested in dividing over whether or not they have more money than I do. That's why I want this channel to keep going. Because I love my fellow Americans, even the ones that despise me, even the ones that want to shut me down. I love you. I care about you. I would lay my life down for you. Even as you come to attack me, even as you come to try and take me down, I would die for you. I would defend to the death your right to have the wrong opinion. I would defend to the death your right to be woke, even though I know it's going to kill you. Because maybe, just maybe, if in your anger and your outrage, you watch one, maybe two, maybe three of my videos, there might be a seed planted. And instead of being woke, you're awakened. And then maybe your voice will be the voice that gets platformed and explodes to thousands upon thousands of followers who listen while you walk away from the dangers of wokeness, from the dangers of leftism, from the dangers of Marxism, from the dangers of anti-constitutional thought and practices. So no, I'm not going to give up because I've had a rough year. Quite frankly, we all know it's going to get far harder for those of us that are constitutionalists, for those of us that are patriotic. White, black, Asian, Hispanic, Native, conservative, traditional constitutionalists are going to start losing more and more and more. Sooner or later, they will awaken others. But it's probably going to get a lot harder before it gets any easier. And that's why I'm not going to give up on this channel. That's why this channel still exists and why it's not going anywhere. Thank you for a very, very good year, even in the hard times. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the compassion. Thank you for challenging me when I'm wrong and encouraging me when you think I'm right. Here's to another year. And until next time, live free. Sic semper, tyrannis.